Hello, my name is James Simpson and I'm the counsellor at Rock Solid Refuge. This is the third part of our substance abuse training, and so I get to speak on a model which is called the stages of change. It is founded in the trans-theoretical model made by Dr. Di Clementi and Dr. Prochaska. And we use this to gauge and help our students in regard to what is change. Is change possible? What are the various areas of change? And so the stages of change that we work from are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and relapse. All of these are part and parcel of our students learning what is change. For lots of our students, change is not easy, especially when we discuss those areas. It's hard for them to understand how things could possibly be different from the life which they have chosen. And also parents, they have difficulty as well trying to understand how is this even possible. So this model has proven successful. At least it provides a bullseye for them in regard to their struggles and how things can be better. So in the pre-contemplation stage, our students and anyone else who struggles, there's no moving forward, there's no momentum, there's no thought in regard to how things can possibly be different. They are stuck in a rut, and conversations with them provide little hope or little movement. So there is a reluctance, there is rebelliousness, there is a resignation, and there's also how they rationalize. The reluctance comes from a lack of hope. They don't think that things can be better, and this is a tough place to be. It's incredibly hard to try and give someone hope, especially when they don't see it. They are rebellious because they don't think that they have a problem. They don't want to move. They like doing what they are doing, and they are resigned. It's that things won't be better, they can't be better, so I'm just gonna stay here because it's familiar. And lastly, they rationalize. They compare and they contrast. Their lives are better here and everyone else is doing it, so I should do the same thing. And that does create a moment of difficulty for us. But in the understanding of pre-contemplation, it will give us the ability to recognize where our friends, relatives, individuals are. It is perhaps one of the most frustrating pieces of our work is that we cannot move them forward if they don't want to move. And so we sow the seeds of hope, we sow the seeds of change, and as you work with individuals, hopefully this will provide a framework for you to understand and give you the ability to at least engage the conversations. We always hear this statement: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. In contemplation, which is the next part of stages of change, is that there is some intention to take action. They may not even know what that is, but a plan is slowly moving forward in regard to the future. So a word you can attach to this is the word maybe. Individuals in this stage of change are willing to consider the possibility that they have a problem. They are still straddling the line of wanting help and also being stuck in their issues. One of the difficult parts is that when people are living dysfunctionally, they are so used to living that they don't understand what living functionally is. If a person comes from a dark room and you throw them into a light, they can't see. They are blinded. They don't know which direction to go. So they are going to go back to the dark room because that's familiar, because that's comfortable. But in contemplation, something is changing. They know that their issues or addiction are causing problems. It doesn't mean that they will change, but there is a desire that something is going to be different. They want something which is better than the mode, than the rut, than the framework that they are operating in. Which moves us to what would be called preparation. This stage represents preparation as much as determination. There is a determination for things to be different. There is a realistic plan that is taking place, one that will be seen and one that will be doable. And when you engage an individual in this area, it's great to see them begin to understand what change looks like. Conversations will go like this. I think I need to do things differently, and you can engage them and say, so what would be those things? And then they begin to understand that they attach words to the thing that they want changed. It's not something that they're willing to sit on the fence anymore. There is a direction, there is a movement. And sometimes that can even be seeking professional help, that I need to go and speak to someone, that I need to have a mentor or someone who they trust, who they gather information from, and they move forward in a healthy manner. This is a stage where you begin to see a visible movement. Sometimes it is not going to look pretty. It's going to be painful as you see them perhaps stumbling, you see them going back and forth, but something has changed. And we have this with our students. We see that in their program that they begin to excel, that they begin to recognize that I want a better outcome. Some of it could be just graduating from high school. Some of it could also be that I want to stay clean, I want to stay sober. I want my reality to be something which is better for me. The next part is action, which is implementing of the plan, which is do. They will not only talk about change, but they will do change. The key part of this word is do. It's not a matter of thinking. It's not a matter of having discussions. There is a clear separation from who they were to who they desire to be, which is an excellent point of change, yet they were still going to need guidance. They put that plan into action. It could be like them going to the gym. It could be not being part of a circle of friends. It could be them not going to certain parties. There is a moment where you can physically see them move from one direction to another direction. Instead of them going east, they decide to go north. You recognize that what is going on in the inside is being moved to on the outside. And that is a clear difference. They use coping skills, which wasn't used before. They want to have conversations, they want to open up things, they want to physically move from one place to another place. And this is what I call momentum. Instead of them being stagnant, instead of them being stuck in the mud and the wheels are not turning and there's no movement, this is a clear movement. This will be what I would call second or third gear for them, because they are leaving some things behind and moving on to the future. Next part of stages of change would be what is called maintenance, which is continuing forward in a momentum. So the word that I would attach to this is called keep going. They will need support. They will need cheerleaders in their life in order for them to enact their plan. Plans are good, yet the plan only has success if they do it, if they keep going, if they keep understanding that change needs to be fundamental for a different outlook, for a different future. Continuing to support them and encouraging them is vital in this moment, because when you do maintenance every day or every week, especially by exercising your coping skills, then it will help them understand the change is an ongoing process. We as individuals, we have great intentions, yet those intentions don't mean anything if we don't follow through. And one of the key ways is in regard to help our students move forward is just to help them make their bed in the morning, because that will help them understand is that this is an ongoing part of change. They begin to think critically in regard to the decisions that they have done. New behavior becomes self-sustaining and takes the place of addiction and associated behaviors. So this is the long haul. Yes, they may fall back into some of the previous stages, but they begin to have a new pattern. The old patterns are changing, and they are choosing new options, new friends, new behaviors, a new lifestyle. So now we're going to talk about relapse. Relapse is difficult. Relapse is not easy. As much as we desire people to change and stay in that momentum, relapse does happen. There are two crucial points to understanding the issue of relapse. The first one is that relapse is part of recovery. That's painful. We would love our loved one, family, relative, friend, associate to keep walking in success. We desire that. We want that above all. Yet, they will fail. And that is not an easy place to be. They find themselves back in some behaviors, and it is a necessary component of them moving forward. They will learn powerful lessons in relapse that success cannot teach them. And it's heart-wrenching to see them go through that, the pain, the agony, the hurt. And sometimes what we want to do is lecture, but we need to listen to them. We need to help them. We need to guide them. We need to cheer them. Yes, we also may need to have some tough discussions, but if they don't fail, they will not know those lessons which have been taught to them. The second thing in regard to relapse is that it didn't happen in the moment. It happened months before. It's not that they just decided to go back into old behaviors because they were tempted in some way, shape, or form. Relapse happened months before. There is something there, a negative thought pattern had re-entered their mind, and they were kind of feasting on it. That they dwell upon those old thoughts and feelings, and things begin to change, right? It's not a momentary thing. It's not like as if somebody had walked up to them and say, do you want to try this? There's been a breakdown, and I know it's hard. It's difficult because the first things out of our mouth is how could you put us through this again? Why would you put us through this again? Yet people who struggle, especially with addiction and issues, as important as those discussions will be, we want to remind them of, even in this moment of deep pain, that there is hope, that there is a better future. And even though they don't feel like it right now, there is something that you can offer them, that you can encourage them, even if you wrap your arms around them and say, okay, today sucks, but tomorrow is going to be better. Let's revamp. Let's look at your plan. Let's see how things can be different. Another thing to understand about stages of change is in that they could spend months in one stage of change. It's not like as if you can have this done in a week and everything's taken care of. It's not designed that way. Stages of change is to help people recognize that this hope, and to understand that these parts are crucial to them understanding what being whole is. You want them to be healthy, and if they have to spend months in one stages of change, then that's fine. If they have to spend months in pre-contemplation, that's okay. What we desire is momentum. What we desire is movement, even if it's an inch